Hello everyone and welcome back to your favorite show for all things gaming and really tech related, Gentoo. As always, we're your hosts, John Taylor.
Hey, but I don't think you're John Taylor.
I am.
Oh, you shaved.
Someone
Okay.
noticed. Thank you.
And I'm Brad Pearson, and on this episode of Gentoo, we cover a new intergalactic action title, an 8-bit blood-soaked horror game, and plenty more. First on our list is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. You play a Star-Lord, so nothing's off limits with your bold combat style. From element blasters and jet-powered dropkicks to tag team beatdowns. With the Guardians fighting at your side, call the shots and overwhelm your opponents with signature attacks. With a rockin' 80s playlist, you'll have some tunes to jam to. Grab your blasters and join the fight when Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy drops on October 26th for PC, Xbox, PS4, PS5, and Switch.
Next is Sunshine Manor. This title is an 8-bit blood-soaked horror RPG that pits you as Ada. Dares to spend the night in the haunted Sunshine Manor. She encounters ghosts, demons, and more in this prequel to 2016 Camp Sunshine. Harness Ada's psychic powers, free the trapped ghosts, and enter the demon realm to banish spirits. Grab your flashlight and get ready for the ever-changing haunted Sunshine Manor. It releases on PC on October 28th.
That's it for game releases for this week. Make sure to check in next Monday for even more gaming news. Up next is Brandon with Lights Out.
Hello everyone, Brandon here, and welcome back to another episode of Lights Out, where I will be reviewing a variety of horror games for you every week. In this week's episode, I will be reviewing Hello Neighbor, a first-person stealth horror game where you play as Nicky Roth, who after witnessing his neighbor Mr. Peterson's sussery, has to try and infiltrate the home to figure out what's going on. Will you be able to unlock the dark secrets within his home? The game is divided into 4 different acts, with the player having to solve different puzzles throughout the game to finish objectives while trying to avoid being caught by Mr. Peterson himself. Developed by Dynamic Pixels and published by Tiny Build, Hello Neighbor was first released as an alpha between 2016 and 2017 before a full release on December 8, 2017 for PC and Xbox One, and for PS4, Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android on July 28, 2018. The game has similar elements from other games I've reviewed on this show, such as being able to hide in closets or use objects against the enemy, seen in games like Outlast 2 and RE7 Biohazard. Another big similarity this game has with the other games I've played on this show is the AI or artificial intelligence. The AI makes it so that you can't do the same routines over and over, making the enemy place bear traps by windows and doors that you've used or fixing windows that you've broken, forcing you to be more creative and find different ways to get into the house. The pace of the game can change quickly also. You can be safe one moment and you're running for Mr. Peterson the next. It's all about patience and making mistakes, because you will make mistakes, over and over and over again. That is something I had to find out the hard way, since the game basically throws you in there with no explanation at all. Although the game's alpha versions were well received by players and critics, the full version of Hello Neighbor was heavily criticized for its control scheme and gameplay, something that I would also agree with. The controls were very glitchy, and the target mechanism that's used makes it so you basically have to be right next to the object to pick it up, and it won't work every time either. Even though the game wasn't that well received by fans and critics, several games were released under the Hello Neighbor guise, including a prequel called Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, a multiplayer spin-off called Secret Neighbor, a multiplayer construction machinery game called Hello Engineer, and a sequel which is called Hello Guest, slated for 2021 release for PC and the Xbox Series X. Maybe we'll see it before the end of the year and I'll review it for you guys. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned next week to check out what horror game I review next. And don't forget to keep your lights on.
Hello and welcome to Below Average Gaming, where me and my friend play a new game every week, but not very well. This week we'll be playing Cold War, and stay tuned to the end of the video when we do a review. So while the game's loading, Cold War has been out for almost a year. It came out last November, so it's still a pretty new game, but we're just playing Team Deathmatch. So if you couldn't tell, Lauren doesn't play video games.
I know nothing about this game. I don't know any buttons.
Also, this isn't Kaylee.
Oh.
This is Kaylee's replacement for the week.
I'm Lauren. Oh.
That's a kill.
What's this?
Can you ride it? Oh, sick.
Artillery
standing by.
What does that
I
mean?
don't know.
No! Don't make the name. Living nightmare? I'm scared. How do I don't know any buttons. Wait, which one shoot? This one.
That
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm getting nervous.
Left. Okay, so.
Oh, where are you?
No, sorry.
Ah! Stop! Ah! Stop! Ah! Frick!
No win.
Ah! What the?
Expecting it.
Where's the guy? I'm very on edge right now.
Oh, in that
The buttons, they move too fast. I couldn't. Where?
Get down. Okay.
You know what? What happens if I do this? I didn't think that would actually happen.
What do you think is gonna happen when you
I
jump
don't
off the
know.
map? What's one thing that you would improve the game with?
Easier maps. Or no, the controls. The controls are too fast. I'm like, it's too much. I just need the basics.
Okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how would you rate Cold War?
I'll give it a 2 out of 5 because the graphics are very nice and realistic, but it's too hard for a beginner gamer such as myself. There's too many things going on, too many buttons. I did not like that at all, and I was very stressed out the whole time. I just felt like I was always gonna die because I did. So, yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5, just because personally Call of Duty games are my favorite, and I actually really like Cold War. I didn't give it a chance before, but giving it a chance now, it's pretty good.
I'm not.
So Lauren goes 2 out of 5, and I go 4 out of 5. Thanks for watching. Join us next week when I play Friday the 13th.
Hey guys, my name is Lauren Liberty, and this is the Liberty Game Gauntlet, a show where I spin a wheel and it gives me a completely random Steam game. So, let's see what we get this week. Mandela is a science creativity sandbox. Pilot a probe on a faraway planet, gathering samples from the weird native flowers and breeding them together to make new hybrids. There are only 11 reviews, but it is positive, so that's interesting. Came out in 2018. Chill, charming, proc gen. You won't find conflict or battle here, just science. It's all really positive. Bro, this person has 10 hours on record? Yo, what? I like the art style. Very simple. So, there really isn't much to this game. You just pick the flowers and you're able to merge two flowers. You start with a handful and then you can keep merging them. And that's the whole game. You merge them and you can move them around to decorate the island, but there isn't anything else that I could see that was a part of this game. Overall, simple game. It was $10. Is it worth $10? I would say no. I did not like it that much. I honestly will probably refund it because I don't think I'll ever play this game again. There's not enough to it and it's not interesting enough for me. So the fact that someone did 10 hours on this game is insane to me. Because to me, it got boring pretty quick. And I didn't care enough to like think, oh, I want to mix all of these. Because even the mixtures, like the plants themselves weren't that intricate or anything. I did like the mechanic where you could name the species, which really isn't that fancy of a mechanic. If that wasn't in there, it'd be like stupid. I just randomly played a song in a playlist and I named it either the song or the artist because I was not creative, so that's what I was doing. Or the Lorax looking trees, I named it. How bad could I possibly be? Because I am really funny. Anyways, it's fine, but that's all I can really say about it, because to me it's really boring. It doesn't have enough uniqueness to it, actually. I've seen other mutation type evolution games that do it so much better. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all for this week. I'll catch you guys next week. Signing off.
Brad?
Hey, Garrett.
Why are you a sock puppet there, bud?
I don't know. Why are you not a sack puppet?
I don't. Should I be one?
No, it kind of smells.
You do kind of smell. I'm sorry.
So do you. On to the next content. Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to From Souls with Love. I'm Brad, and this is my love letter to the Dark Souls franchise and the subgenre games that have spawned from it known as Souls-likes. And this week, I will be covering quite a hidden gem. I said, I will be covering quite a hidden gem. Nothing? Anywho, this week, I will be covering Elder Souls.
Did somebody say hidden gems?
Okay, John, you ruining the bit. Okay, get that out of here. Yeah, okay. This beautiful and brutal isometric Souls-like will have you tasked with killing an imprisoned group of deities known as the Old Gods, who were once influenced by an evil entity known by the name of Exil. After 200 years of exile, Exil returns, and you, an unnamed hero, equipped with a great sword of pure obsidian, shall bring forth the demise of the Old Gods. Now, Elder Souls gameplay is based solely on boss fights. No basic enemies or trap-filled dungeons for you to explore, just you and an overpowered boss that can and will smite you over and over and over again. Combat consists of light attacks, charged attacks, and dodging. Basic light attacks will merely tickle the bosses, however, successful charged attacks will activate an ability called Bloodburst, in which your attacks do more damage, and you can regain any lost health with each attack that hits the boss. Along with that, there are 3 different fighting styles: Wind Slash, Berserk, and Counter. Each have their own useful abilities for battle, with Wind Slash focusing on quick attacks that spawn homing projectiles, Berserk, which is all about doing the most damage as possible at the cost of defense, and Counter being all about parrying boss attacks. At the end of my short journey with Elder Souls, I laughed, I raged, I most definitely said the 7 naughty words not to be spoken on television. But through the ups and downs of this boss rushing experience, I would recommend Elder Souls to anyone who calls themselves a hardcore Souls-like fan. Let's go! Thank you for watching. See you guys next week.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown, your weekly game show in which we go through a different game every week. I'm your host, Garrett, and today we're looking at Enlisted, released in 2021. With my PlayStation 4 library kind of iffy, and I've played everything and can't think of anything good to cover, I stumbled across Enlisted on the PlayStation Store and found that it was the best price out there, free, $0.00. So I said, hey, why not? I've seen some gameplay of it, and I'll just try it out. And it's not too bad for it being a port from the PC. It still has some issues and whatnot, but it's still a ton of fun. And I'll dive straight into why. Enlisted does not have a story mode of any kind. However, it is strictly online, and it's still a ton of fun. It's kind of like Battlefield in a way where you have a squad members and different roles to play. However, instead of random people online controlling your other squad members, you control everyone and can switch from different people from time to time. Each soldier will have a different skill, different weapons, and different perks about them. You can even unlock more teams, such as sniper teams, tank squads, motorcycle squads, and much more. The possibilities are somewhat endless and enlisted. Speaking of your companions that I mentioned earlier, they are somewhat in between really smart and kind of somewhat brain dead. For instance, if you want to change formation, they do a fantastic job of doing that, from a widespread to cover lots of ground to a close quarters kind of tight style combat. However, when you're not controlling your other squad mates, they are controlled by the computer, who can sometimes be a little dumb in a way. If you can see right here in this clip, he's kind of stuck on a ledge. I mean, he's trying his best, but I mean, he'll get through eventually. Up next, like always, the most important thing about any game, it's gameplay. And Enlisted was kind of difficult to pick up at first. The controls were a little funky and wonky, but once you play a couple matches, you pick it up fairly easy. Of course, you have normal shooting and whatnot, you have normal punch and runs and all that, but there's some things that do better than others. For instance, let's say, tanks are kind of somewhat difficult to control in this game. They're a little wonky and whatnot, depending on what position you're in. However, ground combat is very fun and satisfying. You start off with bolt actions and semi-automatic rifles, making it a little bit more challenging. You have to aim your shots better and be accurate with what you do. Also, sniper rifles are also satisfying in the game. However, I have noticed a couple of issues where the scope does not align in the middle of the screen. I don't know if it's just a normal glitch. The game is still fairly new on PS4, but hopefully they'll figure it out in the future. When it comes to customizing your soldiers, there's tons of different things to do. You have multiple squads across multiple kind of like multiplayer campaigns that cover the Battle of Berlin, the Battle for Moscow, the storming of Normandy Beach, and much more. However, all these campaigns do kind of reset your progress for each squad. For instance, your squad from the Battle of Normandy will not transfer over to the Battle of Moscow. However, this is kind of cool as you can build it up the way you want it to. That does it for me here at The Rundown. I'm your host, Garrett, and Enlisted is a pretty fun game overall. It has some kinks and quirks to it, but it is free, and it will be worked on, I imagine, in the future. That does it for this week here at The Rundown. Stick with me next week as we cover our Halloween special. Have a good one.
Job Simulator was first released back in April of 2016, but has since had multiple updates, including an all-new Job Simulator 2. Will Kaylin be able to keep her head and her job as she manages multiple tasks? Find out on this episode of Project Delta. Hello everyone and welcome back to Project Delta. My name is Austin Claypool, as always, but here we have...
Kaylin Byland, General Manager of KNWT. Yeah.
Alright, today we're going to be playing Job Simulator, the game all about having multiple jobs. Alright, Kaylin, so just go ahead, start doing your job, I guess.
Alright.
Your job is a clerk at a gas station.
I'm in the camera, oh my god. I'm just hands, where's my body?
Alrighty, let's get to business. Here's your first customer.
First customer.
Okay, come here, I need to help you. JSU.
I would like to purchase these chips.
So, Kaylin, how experienced would you say you are with VR?
Barely. First time I actually used the VR system was my freshman year of college, so about 2 years ago. And that's probably the only like real experience I had with it, and I played like Plank Simulator, or I think it's called that, and the Spider-Man game that I can't remember.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah. I think that was it.
Acceptable.
They had a game.
It's just called Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Homecoming, the game. No?
No, it's just Spider-Man.
The VR experience.
All right,
Oh, never mind.
here's your paper currency.
Anyway,
Out of 10, what would you rate your VR experience?
my VR experience, like, it's fun, so, but am I that good at it? Probably not, so I'll probably give it like 6 or 7.
6 or 7? Okay, that's not too bad.
Ooh, that guy has a cooler hat.
Get the better hat.
Oh. I broke the game.
You made the game freeze up.
There we go. Oh yeah, look at me.
So, have you ever worked a job like this?
Sorta. I'm not gonna name where I worked, but I have worked in customer service before, and let me tell you, it's a different experience when you have to deal with people. All right, what kind do you want, sir? Battery acid blue or thermal paste pink? You know what? Blue seems like your kind of thing. Blattery. Jumbo size that, please. Ooh, wait, I want your monocle.
You just have a Q on the screen.
Oh yeah, Q and chat, boys. Here you go.
Jumbo size that,
Oh
baby.
yeah! Let's go.
So,
Wait. Oh, I can't take it.
I know you said you can't name where that job was, but was that the worst job you've ever had, or was there something even worse than that?
Yeah, I would probably say it was one of my worst job experiences because people think they know a little bit more than you do, and when it comes to like older male customers, they tend to just not think with their actual brain.
That makes sense.
Her least favorite job is working as the GM for.
Least favorite job.
I'm in charge of all you.
Paper copy of yesterday's news.
Yesterday's news. Oh, there you go, madam. Oh.
So what would you say is your favorite video game memory?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a gamer per se. I got a PlayStation for the first time in early spring 2020. So, and my very first game I played was The Last of Us, and then I eventually played Last of Us 2.
Do you think you could scratch
And
that lottery ticket for me?
there we go, get the change out. And I thought those games were absolutely awesome.
Which one did you like more, The Last of Us Part 1 or 2?
I definitely like the first one better. Last of Us 2 just made me mad, like the
Okay.
entire time. I just was not a fan of certain things. Like, I think it just dragged on. I thought the game would end at a certain point, but it didn't, and
It just seemed like it went on for too
it went
long.
on for too long.
That's understandable. Some games just, like, I found that with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, it went on for too long, and there were certain things that I would have wanted but didn't happen, and I was just so frustrated. But Last of Us Part 1 was fantastic. I'm a big fan of like
Story-driven games?
Yeah, story-driven games, rather than like just shooting people with a gun or stuff like that.
But hey, in The Last of Us, you get both.
Yeah, exactly.
If you had to pick one game to have in VR, like built for VR, what game would that be?
I think I'm sort of a fan of like the Naughty Dog games, so like Last of Us, Uncharted, Watch Dogs. So I don't know if they have this or not, but I would love to see an Uncharted VR. Maybe just doing like all of that parkour.
So besides having job simulators or, like you said, that plank experience, what other kind of experiences do you think they could implement into VR?
Well, I know there's a thing with like flight simulator or like flying a plane, and I think like actual pilots use that before they actually, go up into the air in a real airplane. So maybe just using it for like real job experiences like that, where you'd rather do it here on Earth, before you actually do it out in the real world.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Right. Oh. And I also, I also think it'd be like totally used for like educational purposes. For example, like some people aren't really, let me restart that. I also feel like it could be used for okay, I can't talk. I also feel like it could be used for educational purposes. Some people might be in some way challenged and they don't know how to understand like physical cues or body language. So having like VR to show them like, oh, this is what it's like when somebody's happy or sad or angry and that kind of stuff.
And be able to really experience it. Yeah, yeah.
What do they want? They want a banana? There you go.
Now you stay here for a minute, dearie.
You can't take her earrings.
I mean, darn it.
it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Kaylin, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And tune in next time for even more VR games. Thanks for watching.